Welcome back to a new episode of Mastering Programming. Today we'll have a deeper dive into strings and different kind of things we can do with them. I know we already had a look at strings in previous episodes and different data types and how to declare them, but today we'll have like a deeper look and just understand strings specifically. So first, let's just have a quick revision. Let's remove this and let's show you how to declare a string. So I'm declaring a string in the form of a variable, and here I'm just going to say David, and this just shows that I'm storing David, which is a string, inside the object called name, and I'm storing that as a variable. So this can change. So I'm just going to put can change, and when I say that, I just mean that the object called name is a mutable value, and that's because it was declared after var. Next, let me show you how to do it as a constant. So I'm just going to say let, and I'm not being too creative here. I'm just going to say last name. Let's say Bullis, and over here I'm going to say cannot change, and that's because it's declared as a constant, and that's because it was after let. And so this cannot change. I just want to show you how to actually write a big paragraph or write a bigger string, because it technically you can do it inside of this. But if it gets too much, just this kind of like formatting becomes impractical. So let me just show you. You can always say let, and this time I'll just say paragraph, and let's say yes. So you put triple quotation marks, and anything inside of here, anything inside those triple quotation marks will be considered a string. You can chuck in emojis inside, you can chuck in whatever, and this will always be considered a string. So next I will just show you how to skip a line inside a string, and it's actually much easier than you'd expect. So first, let's say let line skipping equal to David Bullis. Alright, so see the symbol right here, the /n. This actually takes in the string and sees where it's written and then splits anything after the n into a second line. So let me show you how that looks like. And I'm not printing it, sorry. Print line skipping. Oh no, it's a dumb name. Anyway, so as you can see, it instead of printing it David Bullis on the same line, it skipped this line after David and printed it on the other line. And you might wonder why Bullis is a little bit far. So I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to print it. And now it's the same. So this symbol right here, it separates the line. So I'm just going to remove the print here. And now a lot of people actually ask, so what if you actually wanted to print out /n in your string? What if you wanted the user to see /n? Maybe you're explaining this code and you want them to see how to skip a line without actually skipping the line. So to do this, it's also very simple. All you need to do is say let not skipping, and here I'm going to say David, and again /n Bullis. And now if I print this out, it's going to print on a separate line. But in order to actually like print it without going on a separate line and still showing this, all you're going to do is put a hashtag at the beginning and at the end of the string. And now if I print this out, I always forget to print it, sorry. Print not skipping. And it will print it without actually skipping the line. It will print it on the same line. Again, let me just remove the print so it's not on the way. So next, let's see how we can customize our string appearance. So let's say you want to print out, I don't know, I'll just say let random words, and let's say we're gonna put like a quote that Einstein has said. So we're just gonna say imagination is worse than knowledge. This is not an actual quote, hence what's called random words. This is obviously meant to be equal to imagination is worse than knowledge. And let's say we want to print out the name of the person. How do you spell this guy's name? Einstein. Who actually wrote this quote. Obviously, Swift straight away is going to give you an error. It's going to say use of unresolved identifier, and it's going to say Einstein because it doesn't really know what that means. So what if you really wanted to print that? If you do this and you come here and take this off, surely, yes, it will actually print. But as you can see, it's not inside the quotation marks. It's not what you would want a user to see. So to actually make this work, I will give you an example. All you need to do, let's declare a new variable, and let's say let wise words. So this time it's not random, this time it's an actual quote. And it says imagination is more important than knowledge. And again, now let's actually see how to solve this. So in order to print out the quotation marks, all you need to do is put a slash right here and then another quotation marks, come on the back here and do this. And now if we actually put on Einstein and another quotation mark, let's print this out and see what happens. Print wise words. Alright, imagination is more important than knowledge. So see how this was put, so these quotation marks were put inside the quotation marks, it appeared. Well, if I did something like this, this would have not worked. In order to actually print out the quotation marks inside the quotation marks, you need to put a slash behind it or in front of it. And this is, yeah, you can see it's a very simple thing to do. So now let me just show you some unique initializations or declarations of strings. So first of all, in order to declare an empty string, all you need to do is just say empty string. You don't have to call it empty string, obviously. I'm just, I don't know, being original with naming things. And you have to identify it, what type this object is going to carry. In our situation, it's going to carry a string. This will not show an error if you attempt to use it. So if I come here and say print empty string, oh, actually, it does. Yeah, sorry. This will show an error if you try to use it because it's not declared as anything. You can always obviously come later and say empty string is equal to David, and this will work. That's fine, and then you can print it. But as long as it's empty, nothing will be printed. So in order to declare an empty string that you can still sort of print and use without actually assigning anything to it, you can kind of like cheat Swift, and we can say fake empty string. And we're actually going to give it a string, and that string is just going to be a blank character. Nothing will be inside, but Swift will think that there is something. So now if I actually try to print fake empty string, although it's empty just exactly the same as this one, there shouldn't be any errors. And yeah, nothing is printed out because there's nothing, so it's empty, but at the same time, no errors were given. Let me remove that. So next, I want to show you how you can do something really nice, something really cool, and quickly check if a string is empty or not. So what we can do is we can use an if statement. We can say if empty string dot is empty, and we're gonna print out, I don't know, I commented out, we're gonna print out this string, sorry, I will say this object is empty. And then we can come here and say else, too much Python, else print this object is not empty. Alright, so pretty much what happens here is you put a condition and you say if empty string is empty, and right here it's actually telling me that there's an error because, like I said, you can't use this unless it's been declared. So I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna use the fake empty string instead. Fake empty string, and inside of it I'm going to put, I don't know, Harley. That's the name of my dog. Anyway, let's run this and see what happens. So it says this object is not empty, and that's because here it says if fake empty string. So if this object is empty, I think that's very clear. Print out this object is empty. If not, if it's not empty, just print out this object is not empty. So you can always use this like kind of function to quickly check if a string that you declared is empty or not. I know this, you might wonder why would that be useful, but if you're writing a lot of lines of code, if you're writing like 500 lines of code and you declare the string at the top or an object at the top, you can easily just check if it's empty or not by creating this easy function to use. Anyway, I'll completely comment this out because I don't want it to keep printing. By the way, to comment multiple lines at the same time, you simply just hold command and then the question mark, and yeah, that will just comment everything. Finally, let me show you how you can actually add something to a string, and yes, you can do that. So let's say first, I'll declare as a variable, so let's say var first and last name, and I'm going to say David. So yes, I know I've only introduced my first name here, and that's for a reason. So let's say I forgot my last name and I wish to add it later on. Instead of actually editing what I put here, like the object directly, we can always come here and say first last name plus and equal to bolus, and let's put a space here. By the way, the plus and equal is equivalent to just saying equal first last name plus bolus, but see how much shorter it is to just say plus and then equal. Anyway, so let's run this and see what happens. So as you can see, although it was already declared was David, I added bolus to first and last name, and then now we can see that first last name now carries the value of David bolus rather than just David. So by the way, if you need to quickly check what your object is carrying, you can always come and just press over here. I'll remove that for now. What else do we have? Quickly, let me show you how you can iterate over a word. So let's say var I'm just gonna say words because I think I already used the word before, and I'm gonna say random word, and let me actually make it cool. Let me put an emoji inside of here, and let's use a for loop in order to actually loop through the word. So I'm gonna say for characters, and the cool thing about for loops is that you can actually put anything here. It doesn't matter, I can put 4 characters or 4 aliens or 4 whatever, and it will still iterate over it in words. So for every character inside of word, which is R, A, N, D, whatever, if character, let's just print characters. Print character. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, it goes through the word, goes through R, A, N, D, O, M, W, O, R, D, and it prints it out. Very straightforward, and as you can see, you can do that with the GIL. So using a for loop, you can actually like press character.append and then append every character that's A into a list or something. And to show you exactly what I mean by this, let's say we want to like filter through the list. So instead of actually printing everything, we only wish to print the letter W, for example. I'm just going to put this like that. By the way, this is case sensitive, so if you have a small capital there, it's not going to work. Anyway, if character is equivalent to W, print character. So let's see what happens if I run this. Yes, so it iterates over it and it checks. Is R equal to W? No. Let's move on. Is A equal to W? No. Move on. All the way until it goes to W. And then it says, oh, wait, hold on. Character is actually equal to W. So I'll print W, or I'll print that character. You can also do this. You can say not equal to W. And guess what that will do? It will print everything except for W. Because it says, is it a W? No. Then print it. Is it an A? Is it a W? No, then print it, and so on until it comes here and says, oh wait, it is a W, or it's equal to W, so I will not print it. Next, let me see what I have. Alright, so this is actually the last thing I will do. It is very useful. So let me declare 3 phrases. Actually, I already have them declared here so that I don't waste your time. Let me just copy that and I'll come here. So these 2 phrases are the same because it's the same sentence, and then this one is different. So all I want to show you here is how to take 2 lists, compare them, and then say whether or not they're equivalent to each other. So I'm going to use 2 if statements here. I'm going to say if first phrase is equivalent to second phrase, print we are the same phrase. And then I'm gonna come here and say if first phrase, you can also use if else or like an else statement, but I'm not gonna do that now. If third phrase, let's say print we are not the same. So this one, it says if first phrase is not equivalent to third phrase, which this condition is true, it will print out we're not the same. So let's run this. And I'm not sure why it didn't run. Yeah, there we go. It says we are the same phrase because it checks and this is true, so it prints it out. We are not the same. And yes, it's true, so it prints out. So I know this lesson might have been a bit confusing and it might have been a bit long, but trust me, this will be very useful in future projects, and you're definitely going to need it if you're going to start using Swift. Thank you for watching, and please come back later for more episodes. Have a good day.